This is by far and away my favorite series I've ever read, and this is, as you can probably guess, the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. This series is just banger after banger after banger. Like, I am about halfway through Oathbringer, and this is completely different from the previous two books, but it's still absolutely amazing. And that's kind of the point of this video, right? Because it's a series that I'm enthralled with every single book. Like, there's not a book that's let me down. I know I'm only 2.5 books in, but each one feels completely different. When you do read a massive, long, epic fantasy series, it's easy to have every book be a continuation of the next book in the same kind of style. All three of the first three books are completely different. What I mean by that is Oathbringer is a lot slower pace and a lot more of a slow burn than Words of Radiance, which is the book before it, which is really, really fast paced after like the first 100 pages. But then when you compare Words of Radiance to the one before it, The Way of Kings, is almost like a setup kind of book, and it's one of those books that really gets you into the universe, into the world, and it's very, very self-contained within its own story. Like, yes, there are points in this that build up stuff within this book and the next book and probably the final two books, but like, this is pretty much, you could just read this by itself. They have this amazing ability to be able to make you want to read more, even though you're having to read like 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 pages per book. You're like, I want to read more, I want to read more, I want to read more. And I'm not saying that other series that I've read don't have that, but you get to the end of these books and there's so much that's left unanswered in such a good way. The cliffhangers are amazing, but you also feel like you've had a concluded story within each book. So you're not at the point where you're like, oh, well, I just feel like I just read 1,000 pages of just setup and stuff that I have to read the next book to have more setups, the next book to have more setup until I finally get to the payoff at the end of the series. Don't get me wrong, I feel like at the end of Wind and Truth, which is the final book in the Stormlight Archive Era 1, that it will have this massive epic payoff, but like, I'm not regretting not being there already, if that makes sense. For the first time in my life, I am finally understanding why everyone in all of my comments spams Journey Before Destination. These books are the epitome of Journey Before Destination. You have to enjoy the books and appreciate what you learn along the way. It's not about just getting to the end. And in a lot of fantasy books, it is about just getting to the end and finding out what happens. You know what I mean? So yes, banger after banger after banger in the Stormlight Archive so far. Brandon Sanderson is absolutely immense with his writing. His world building is insane. His plot is insane. His characters are amazing. But if you disagree with me, please do let me know. No offense taken, I promise. This is just my favorite epic fantasy series ever. Obviously, I'm joking. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Make sure to like, make sure to follow, and happy goddamn reading.